I grew up without a father. Like, he just decided to smoke some crack and dip.
Damn.
But, dude, growing up, like, it was pretty fucking hard for me. Like, just feeling so alone and just not having that father figure and just feeling so worthless. And mom's working all the time and just a bunch of shit. Just, I used to be fat, too, like a little chubby chunker and just very socially anxious. But basically, the ayahuasca, I could feel all those feelings, like, come back up. And, like, I could actually just, like, actually emotionally feel it. And I started going to therapy November of last year because, like, not because I was in distress or anything. But I was like, oh, probably good to talk about shit. And one thing that came up that he suggested was, like, you need to, like, feel that feeling, you know, like, as you were as a kid and, like, kind of mend that shit. I'm like, I don't even know how to do that, you know? But when I was on ayahuasca, it just came naturally. And it was like, oh, shit. Like, I'm just, like, feeling this. Like, it's just feeling that how fucking alone I felt as a kid and how hopeless and helpless a lot of this shit felt. And man, it was like there's me and then there's that young kid, and I was kind of communicating with him, and I cried a lot, man. I cried a lot, but it was just tears of relief. Like, fuck, like, I'm like actually feeling this shit.
Yeah.
And I just kind of talked to that kid. I'm like, hey man, like, no, you went through some shit, but like, I got it from here. Like, you don't gotta fucking feel scared and like feel like so alone and all that shit. It was kind of trippy. So like really feeling empathy for myself, because when I was younger, I really had to grow up fast, and I didn't get to experience like that feeling of childhood in a lot of ways, because I dealt with a lot of shit. And like, my mom started smoking crack when I was 15 or 16, so I dealt with a lot of that shit, and seeing that like deteriorate her life, that was fucking rough. But just like, yeah, just feeling like deep empathy for myself, and just validating that emotional experience. So that felt really good to get a lot of closure on shit. And then also feeling empathy for a lot of the people in my lives. So like my father, who smoked crack, my brother, realized I wasn't being like a really good brother to him, because I'd been focused on online business, all this shit, and I haven't like checked in with him emotionally. I'm like, hey man, like, how are you doing in life? Not like the superficial shit like we normally go to, but it's like, hey, how are you actually doing? Like, he's getting married, I want to check in, like, see he's making some big transitions in life, and just feeling a really deep empathy for a lot of people in my lives, and realizing I need to be more like vulnerable. I need to be the one to lead the way and be more vulnerable, because that gives people permission to open up. Like, you open up for other people and they'll open up with you, but you gotta kind of have the courage to put yourself out there in the first place. So just realizing, okay, like, I always seen myself as a follower growing up, because I was super shy. I didn't see myself as a leader at all. And just realizing you have this gift of having this like deep empathy toward other people, and you're okay with being vulnerable and opening up, and you need to have the courage to show that on a deeper level, or show that more in your life, whether that's on social media or with the relationships in your life. But you need to open up, and you need to lead with your heart, basically. And that was a big thing for me. So there's that. And then also like getting clarity with business and shit. Like, I had the ghostwriting agency, and I was still running that with like 5 clients. And I also have this ghostwriting coaching offer where I'm like helping people start their own ghostwriting business. And I was just thinking, like, well, why the fuck am I doing the ghostwriting agency, like, done for you work? Like, it's really detracting a lot of my focus. I'm dealing with a lot of bullshit, like client stuff, and it's like kind of stressful. So
and scalability just isn't there.
Exactly. And it's like, well, I'm going to put my focus on this one thing instead of like scattering it, like just be laser focused. So I cut 3 clients when I got back. So I only got like 2, and I got Joey handling all that shit. But yeah, getting clear on that. And then also with content too. Like, one thing that kept coming up is like, don't treat your audience like, if you like speak, don't treat your audience like they're fucking idiots. No, that wasn't intentional, but like, don't be afraid to go deep on content and share like actual like high level shit, because you're going to attract you're going to attract the people based on the content you put out. So if you're posting basic ass shit, you're only going to attract basic level people. But if you want to attract like really cool people, high level people, you gotta go a bit deeper. Like fuck, even don't chase engagement. Like,
yeah.
Put out the.
That's why
real
Daniel
shit.
does so well.
Yeah, exactly.
Hormozy.
100%. Yeah.
Especially in the B2B side of things.
Yeah.
Like B2C, it makes sense to kind of dumb it down. Like you see, Hormozy's the perfect example. Like earlier on, he's selling his own stuff. It's all pretty much B2B. It's very high level. Now, it's a little bit more watered down because he's going so mass market.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's like it doesn't have to be one way or the other. You can rotate the content, right? You can do like some basic stuff, but like go deeper level in this area, like kind of just do different shit. But no, it was a really cool experience. Like, and just not even just the ayahuasca part and like tripping balls, even though that was fun, but like connecting with the people on the trip. Like it was majority women, like in their 40s and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was really cool.
My aunt might have been there. She lives in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
She was gonna do one, but her husband like broke his hand, so they couldn't do it. But
quitter.
She'll probably do it eventually.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll join. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I fuck Klein Ascension ayahuasca event. There we go.
With Mario.
That'd be wild.
Yeah, Mario is big into it too.
Yeah.
He's the mindset coach in there. But a question I have for you is because I've been to like these group like settings, not with ayahuasca, but just with like holding space for vulnerability for just like men like you were talking about, which is so rare, especially in like the money Twitter space, because it's all like, you know, like very masculine, and I feel like a lot of guys on there are just like scared to like go deeper like you're talking about. And so I think it's cool that like you are in a position to lead that, you know, change. And so my question is like, how do you take that connection and those experiences you had in Costa Rica and bring it to like your family, like you're talking about with your brother, and even just with your audience on social media?
Yeah, so that's the biggest part, right? It's called the integration. It's like, yeah, it's all well that you have these realizations and stuff, but you got to act on it. So when I got back, I realized, okay, like I just need to talk to everybody in my life that's important to me and that I felt called to talk to. So yeah, I phoned a lot of my close friends. I phoned my brother. I phoned a bunch of people. I basically told them, hey, this is my experience, what I had, and this is a realization I had, and I just wanted to reach out and like have this conversation with you. Even my sisters too, like my little sisters, 13 and 12, and just talking to them on a deeper level, and it was so fucking nice, man. Just like my brother, he broke down like crying because I don't know, just the way I like talked to him, and I could tell it really meant a lot to him. And that meant a lot to me, like just seeing that impact.
Yeah, that type of connection that's not just at the surface level is so rare.
100%.
He was probably just grateful. He's like,
Yeah.
fuck, I feel like I got like my brother back.
Yeah, 100%, dude.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed this short clip, check out the full interview here. And if you want to see more clips from this episode, check it out right here.